hopefully I'll get in a good mood later on. Okay, so we have these 10 new vocabulary words. I'll read it, and then I want you to repeat it. Then I'll read the definition. Then you can read the definition as well. So we have illusion. Say illusion.
Allusion.
Implied or indirect reference.
Implied or indirect reference.
Usually whenever I think of illusion, this word, reference, is the first word that I think of. Whenever a writer is writing or a speaker is speaking, he or she can make a quick allusion to something that would be well known, but that person doesn't need to be able to give the source to it because it's just kind of common knowledge of a reference. All right, the next word is crux.
Crux.
Which is a fun word to say. It's the main reason or the central point.
Main reason, central point.
So if someone has a crux, they have one important reason, one thing that they're trying to accomplish. And then the next word is fervent.
Fervent.
It's glowing, burning, or boiling.
Glowing, burning, or boiling.
Usually whenever I hear the word fervent, it's usually right along with passion. If someone has a fervent passion for the lost, they have a burning, a glowing passion to be able to reach people for Christ. Okay, the next word is inconspicuous.
Inconspicuous.
It is not readily seen or noticed.
Not readily seen or noticed.
So whenever I'm teaching in my classes and someone is not wanting to listen to the lecture, they can try to be inconspicuous in working on their math homework or reading a book instead of listening to the grammar lesson or trying to not be noticed, but I'm always noticed. The next word is ornate.
Ornate.
It means highly decorated or embellished.
Highly decorated or embellished.
Usually I think of fabricated eggs or Easter eggs or a painting, or you can go into a room that is ornate. Usually just mean that it's very decorated. It's beautiful. It has lots of colors. A lot of work has been put into it to make it pretty. Okay, the next word is ponder.
Ponder.
It means to carefully consider.
Carefully consider.
This always makes me think of Mr. Scott because I often find him where he's like just sitting like this. And you can just tell that he's pondering, that he's thinking about something. Funny man. The next word is refuse.
Refuse.
It means garbage or rejected items.
Garbage or rejected items.
That's usually something that we refuse, something that we don't want. Could be garbage or something that we just simply say no to. Okay, the next word is speculate.
Speculate.
It means reason with uncertainty.
Reason with uncertainty.
Reason with uncertainty. So if you are just guessing at something, you have that gut hunch, you have an idea as to the reason, but you're not for sure, you would speculate because you're not 100% confident, you don't have the evidence to back it up, but you're guessing with uncertainty. Okay, I love the next word. The next word is thwart.
Thwart.
It means to foil, prevent, frustrate.
Foil, prevent, frustrate.
Okay, so in Isaiah, it talks a lot about how God would thwart the plans of man. He would frustrate the plans of man. He would stop the plans of man and lead into the way that he wanted it to go. So I just love that word, thwart. The next word is vintage.
Vintage.
It is distinguished by lasting appeal, classic.
Distinguished by lasting appeal, classic.
Vintage is a very popular word right now and a very popular style. A lot of people are dressing in the 50s way or in the 40s or in the 20s style of dress, and this is considered vintage. It's more classic, it's not modern, and it has the purpose of looking older. So it is thought to be vintage. Okay, this is what we'll do now. I'll hold the book up like this so you can see the different words and the different definitions. I'm going to read some sentences and see if you can find the word that would fit into the sentence. Okay, so the first one is, to sail to the Indies was the main reason or the central point of Columbus's journey. Correct, yeah. The next one, Mount Trashmore in Virginia is a 60-foot hill constructed of compressed garbage, rejected items. Refuse, yep. And then we have the glowing or the burning or the boiling heat inside the volcano caused the ejection of steam and ash several days before the volcano erupted. Fervent, yep. The highly decorated or embellished chair once belonged to a French nobleman. For that chair, it's
ornate.
Ornate, yes, the ornate chair. Very good. And then our grandparents provided distinguished by lasting appeal classic clothes for the costumes in our play. Vintage, very good. And then during the lesson, Miss Trimble made an implied or indirect reference to the poem Silver. Allusion, very good. And then the teacher managed to foil, prevent, or frustrate each of the child's attempts to misbehave in class. Thwart, very good. Thwart, it's like what I do in class. Test the spot remover on a not readily seen or noticed area of the carpet to make sure it will not change the carpet's color. Inconspicuous, very good. And then I took a moment to carefully consider his question before answering it. Ponder, yep. And then the last one, with no clues to guide them, detectives could only reason with uncertainty as to the identity of the thief. Speculate, very good. So I watched the television show Castle. Have I talked to you about it before?
You have it?
I have it, yeah. I think Madam John has a lot of it right now. But it's this detective, Kate Beckett, who I think I'm like because she's just very cold, she's very emotionless, and she works. And then this author comes and he starts to work with her to help solve murder mysteries. And he often speculates, and he is not inconspicuous. And he makes a lot of allusions. This just makes me think of Castle, the whole thing. But he'll go into a crime scene, and he, being an author of murder mysteries, he tries to find the story. So as he's looking in a room, he's thinking, okay, if I were writing this novel, what would I do in this crime? And so he starts to speculate a lot to try to derive a story, to try to derive a conclusion. And then Kate, she's always like really Castle, annoyed and rolling her eyes. It's so much fun. I love it. And Madam John likes it a lot too.